Problem 22-38. Now that we have finished the sales budget, we're going to work on the production budget. So now that we know how many bats we're guessing we will sell, which is 1,200 youth and 2,600 adult bats, now we can figure out how many bats we need to manufacture. Remember, we may already have some bats in inventory, and we probably will want to have some surplus inventory at the end of the quarter just in case sales are higher than we expected. This production budget, which tells us how many bats we need to make, will be needed to determine our budgets for direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Then when we're done with those three budgets, we can figure out our cost of goods sold budget and our selling and administrative expense budget. To calculate the number of bats to produce, we start with the budgeted bats to be sold, then we add in the desired bats in ending inventory. This gives us the total number of bats needed. Then we subtract the bats we already have in inventory at the beginning. That gives us the number of bats to produce. So the number of bats to be sold come from up here. 1,200 youth bats, 2,600 adult bats, for a total of 3,800 bats. Now if we're projecting to sell 1,200 bats, we don't want to have only 1,200 bats on hand. We want to make sure we have some left in inventory just in case we sell more bats than we expect. So now we need to add in desired bats in ending inventory. So desired ending finished goods inventory is 350 youth bats. So after we sell 1,200, we want to have 350 still in inventory in case our sales exceed what we expect, and then 300 adult bats. For a total of 300 plus 350 is 650. Next, total bats needed. Well, you just we expect to sell 1,200, and we want to have 350 in ending inventory. That gives us 1,550 youth bats needed. For adult bats, we need 2,900, and then total, we take the 2,900 plus 1,550, and that gives us 4,450. So again, we expect to sell 1,200 youth bats. We want to have 350 in ending inventory at the end of the quarter, so we need 1,550 youth bats. However, we might have some in inventory already from the previous quarter. So let's look up here. It says finished goods inventory on December 31st, 2024. Now remember, this is the end of March 2025. And this is a quarterly report. So our beginning inventory comes from the ending balance on December 31st. So we had 300 youth bats and 950 adult bats. So 300 youth bats, tab over, 950 adult bats for a total of 1,250. So what we're going to do for the youth bats is we're going to take 1,550 and we're going to subtract the 300 we already have. So we need 1,550 bats, but we already have 300, so we need to produce the difference, 1,250. So how many adult bats do we need to produce? Well, we need 2,900, but we already have 950, so we're going to take 2,900 minus 950 gives us 1,950. And then our budgeted bats to be produced, the total is 1,250 plus 1950, what is that? 3,200. Let me move up my thing so I can check my answer. There we go. So in the next video, we will work on our direct materials budget, which we couldn't do until we figured out how many bats do we need to produce. So we need to produce 3,200 bats. So now we've got to figure out, well, how much materials do we need to order and have on hand.